The strongest argument that I've heard against Christianity from a Jewish perspective was proposed by Ben Shapiro when he was talking about how historically the guidelines for killing someone that claimed to be a Messiah wasn't death, but it was just something like a stoning or being beaten, that they wouldn't actually kill someone that just claimed to be the Messiah. And to me, this is interesting because it kind of pokes a hole into the historicity around when Jesus existed. However, with some consideration, I would like to push back on his argument and propose a little bit of a counterpoint. So from my perspective, which is biased because I am a Christian, is that they needed to kill Jesus because of the claims that he made. Now, when we look at Jesus in front of the Sanhedrin, which was the Jewish ruling class that decided to kill him originally, they killed him on the charge of blasphemy, which, if you're referring back to Levitical law, there was a mandate then to kill people that spoke with blasphemy. Blasphemy is essentially misusing God's name, or in this case, it was claiming to be God. Now, yesterday I went into some detail about how Jesus claimed to be the Messiah based on the I am statements. If you're just joining me for the first time, my name's Logan. I'm reading through the entire Bible with you in hopes that we can grow in our love of Christ together. And I'm not going to go into a lot of detail on those I am statements, but just so you know, Jesus was claiming to be God. He wasn't just claiming to be the Messiah. To set the stage for you a little bit, the Jewish people have been waiting for a Messiah to come with the purpose of reuniting Israel to its former glory of what it was like under King David. So from when God made a promise to Abraham to King David was many generations. And then David ruled over the most successful kingdom ever that he passed on to his son, who had, what the Bible described, peace on every side. He was able to build so many wonderful things. Solomon, he built the temple. He had so much gold. He was incredibly rich. But then after the death of Solomon, his sons began ruling in a way that caused a civil war between Israel and Judah. And then the exile comes and all the Israelites have been spread across the world. And the idea of a Messiah is that it would unite the Jewish people back under Israel so they could live there united as one, and that would actually bless the nations. It was a political revolution. And we see that they were waiting on this because the Israelites were never truly united, even though some of them did come back from exile like the Bible promised, and you see that return with people like Nehemiah. But not everyone came back. If you look at the story of Esther, she didn't actually return from exile, and she lived during that time. Look at it today. There are many millions of Jews that live around the world and do not live in what Israel used to be. So the idea of the Messiah coming to reunite Israel is either wrong or that the Messiah hasn't come. So the Jew would say the Messiah hasn't come, and the Christian would say that it's not correct. From my point of view, the Messiah came to fulfill the judgment that was needed for us to have a rightful relationship with God. If you look at scriptures, especially in the book of Isaiah, the Messiah came to make atonement for sin. The Bible talks about it in Isaiah 53, how he was crushed for our transgressions. He was pierced for our iniquities. So if someone came during Jesus' time just claiming to be the Messiah, which many, many people did, mind you, the reason that they had to kill Jesus for his claims was that he was claiming to be God. If he was just claiming to be the Messiah, then he probably wouldn't have died. But it was when he came out and tried to proclaim that he was God is that they actually went and killed him. So that's just a little rebuttal to the argument of why they shouldn't kill Jesus. There's a lot of history there, some that I'm not even familiar with myself, but I hope that kind of gives a neat understanding of the necessity to kill Jesus. One thing I want to add before the end is that they had to kill Jesus because it was fulfilling the prophetic law. Not only were they trying to, follow the Levitical law that said that if someone used blasphemy, they must be killed, but it was actually prophesied that Jesus would die as the Messiah. That's why I was referencing Isaiah 53. The Messiah had to come and die. So while that wasn't a reason that the Israelites killed, the Jewish people of Jesus' time killed Jesus, it is a reason that he died. It's because he had to die so that we could actually find life through his death and resurrection. Thanks so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please leave a like. It really does help the channel, and I'll see you back here later as we continue to read through Scripture together.